Hey up, so new episode. So I went and bought a new decent camera to use for this YouTube, hoping it would actually work, and it hasn't really seemed to be working. I don't think it's that it's broken. It's just I think this computer is so fucked and old that it can't handle this new camera, which is just annoying because I can't afford a new computer. But my mate said he might let me one, so I just have to hope at this point. God, well, we got fucking cold quickly, didn't it? It's like only a few days ago it was fine, and now I'm walking around like, needing gloves on my fingers. It's freezing like bloody hell. Why the fuck did this have to happen so fast? Oh wait, it's climate change. Jeez, thanks fuckers. That was a way longer intro than I meant to be. So let's just get up straight on with it. There was no Kaiju number 8 or Black Clover this week, so it might be a bit of a short one. I say that. I'm a minute in, and I've not even started. So we're just going to start with Akane-Banashi. Urahara got and Garo from got isekai'd into Akane-Banashi. I'm down. This is the weirdest crossover ever, but it's just what I thought when I saw those two characters. Like, they definitely look like those guys. And we get these bunch of high-ranking Rakugoka, essentially, which is a very much a staple of shonen. You get the group of high, like, you know, the 5 Kage or the world government or stuff like that. All the high-ranking officials, planning stuff. And it's weird because I always assume this series was set obviously in our own world and was completely realistic. And then you've got Enso, who has a literal square head. Like, not even like metaphor, like literally a square head. I'm like, what? That's not just, oh, this character's just a bit square-headed. It's like, no, this is like genuine. It's like, okay. Alright. So then we get Kyoji apologizing for his behavior, which feels in character for him because he's the sensible older brother, and also but he's always like, oh yeah, the others told me you would want me to teach you music and dance, and she's like, oh god. Then we get this moment where he's worried about what the Rakugo world is going to think of Akane. It's like, oh, I started to see he's concerned like a big brother, but then he was also ready to call her out if she got cocky just because she got one win. It's like, yep, that's definitely a brother. That's a brother move. And then he calls her Imoto, and I'm like, oh god. Imoto is such a curse word for Western weebs. Just, you can't hear that word and think, oh no, that's creepy. So what surprised me, we got an 8-month time skip, and she's going into a new training arc. I didn't see that coming. Which made me wonder how long this series will last, because I never really thought about it, but it's 100 chapters. Maybe that's what it is? Because I don't think this is going to be one of those ones that runs for like 300 odd chapters. I don't think that's how it's going to go, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to... I think it's just because, in a way, it's so well paced you can't tell in a weird way, which I'm not sure that makes sense. And I like this chapter because this series, what I like, many things I like about Akane is it's good at making these quote unquote filler chapters feel worthwhile and interesting, and not just filler that's just kind of blank plot space. Instead, it feels like there's actually something interesting here, and I've already said interesting. They've actually got something right with it. That made no sense, but fuck it. On to Moebana quickly. And they're like, the cover pages, their eyes brimming with fighting spirit, and I'm like, Arashi looks like he's brimming with jack shit, to be honest. And we get this backstory. So Diego used to not be fussed on Ikebana, but somehow Arashi's work was so moving and motivated him to get better. I was like, okay, fine. And I guess the difference now is he gives a shit. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying it. But in fact, it's both full-page shots of grey in this. And of course, Diego and Arashi win by a landslide, and it's like, so basically Diego, now that Diego gives a shit, he's unbeatable. At least for now, because we know how this is going to go. It's okay. I think it's another one of those. It's a case of it's an interesting enough premise, but it is quite a generic story. So it's like, if this was like a generic, even more generic action shonen, I would have already dropped it. But I'm gonna keep trying. I don't know how much that actually went through. Stuff keeps freezing. That's good. Not. So My Hero Academia, we got a cover page of a bunch of characters, and it was a weird mixture because like Twice was there, and Davi was there, and Mirko, and Hawks, and Shigaraki, and Deku, and Mineta, and Aizawa. I was like, was this like a popularity poll or something? Anyway, so the actual story. Stars and Stripes' teammates stayed around to help and let Deku hitch a ride. Which is like, yeah, that's cool. I honestly hadn't really thought about how Deku got back. Like, I assumed he was just kind of getting back. Like, I knew it was never going to happen, but I would have loved it if, like, Selkie was made canon and was had shown up to swim Deku the rest of the way there. That would have been so good. Like, and then, but I like this. But also the thing is, like, he slingshots himself from plane to plane. But I'm a bit like, would it not have just been better just to open, like, just let him ride on the wing or something, like let him rest. Anyway, so we had that cool page of last time of Deku clobbering Shigaraki, and he's like, "Hey, is everyone? Oh shit!" And it's like, he looks so innocent for those first few panels where he's just looking at that scene and he realizes what's happened with everyone. And like we see all those strands, and I kind of thought that was like Ed Shot was already dead or something, but then he goes into a full-on rage mode, and then Mirio's there, and now he has even more purpose, and it's to calm him down as Deku goes berserk, and it's like, and I mean, it wasn't meant to make you laugh, but it slightly did when it was like Tamaki and them are still kicking. It's like, way to tell us who's really important to this dude, the man. And then so Deku manages to pull it together, and we get a nice page of all where it says a flash of all the previous wielders in there, and I do love that whole effect of smoke expanding then vanishing as a character transforms. It's always cool, and yeah, I still like this. It's My Hero Academia doing what My Hero Academia does, so yeah. It's hard to find stuff to say on a weekly basis sometimes. I think I'm just gonna get back into it because when I used to do these like articles for a website that I'm not even sure it's still running anymore for Black Clover, and I had to do like a weekly thing, and I always got annoyed how the description of the chapter was longer than my reaction to the chapter because it made me feel cheap. But it was just a case of not having. It's hard to keep saying stuff every week. Anyway, so One Piece. So Jewelry Bonnie, words failing. Jewelry Bonnie is rescued only for a giant shark to pop up beneath the Thousand Sunny. I was like, holy shit! Like that was a full-on like megalodon level thing. Because the Thousand Sunny's big. I just had to be bigger than megalodon. That's like megalodon got fucking injected with brachiosaurus and stuff. I don't know. That's weird. And then it goes super cartoonish. It turns out to be a robot shark, and it's like, okay, that went from like terrifying to silly very quickly. Which now I say about that is entirely One Piece's motif. So Jinbei, in his desperation, is like, actually, we can't get to the surface, guys. Hold your breath, and he takes Luffy, Chopper, and Bonnie further down to escape. And then I thought Frankie showed up in mecha form. Like, I generally thought that was the Frankie Shogun in, like, a new form. So I saw the helmet, I was like, oh, that's new. Alright. Seemed as if it was him. And then I didn't realise until it said on the next moment that the shark had Punk on the side. I was like, it can't be him? Surely? And then we get a brief glimpse at the Navy Island nearby, where the Shigi is helping all the monsters kids. That's the word, no. Is it? The giant kids, that's it. Brain went dead there. All the giant kids helping them, and then we got Hel Meppo and some chick I can't remember the name of. crying and begging the other members of the Sword to go rescue Kirby from Blackbeard, and you can guess the reaction of them. And in fairness, I can't say I blame them. Like, I know, obviously, I would want to rescue Kirby as well because Kirby's the best. Like, I love that guy as much as anyone else. Like, oh my god, his voice actor deserved an award for his work in the Marineford War. Just that whole speech. Oh my god. I still wonder what Kirby is. Whole point is there. But if the Marines are nearby, I feel like there's a chance that they're gonna find out that the Straw Hats are gonna find out that Kirby's been taken, and this is gonna play into it. But I'd be surprised if the next arc is a Hachinosu Island arc. Because in my head, unless the Davy Back fight becomes involved, but I still don't see it. Oh, sorry. Oh, pale. So, meanwhile, speaking of the pirates, Luffy and the others are on this island, and again, I thought it was just the old Vegapunk Island, but no, it's a different island. And it turns out that giant robot is so big it picked up the Sunny, and it wasn't Frankie, it was another robot called Vegaforce, and they were like, oh, it saved us, but then it's not that was an actual shark that had been modified by the robot person, and it turns out that it just didn't listen, and then this person's like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Dr. Vegapunk. Of all the things I never thought about, the fact that Vegapunk is a woman is somehow surprisingly surprising. Like, I never thought of that. Though I've seen a lot of people saying, I call bullshit. They kept saying that Vegapunk was an old man. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think I can buy this. It can very easily be that Vegapunk is really, really old and is in an android body or something. God, that'd be such a creepy pervert thing if it turned out like he was an old pervert and then he just made himself a hot young woman body to be in out of some perversion. Ugh. That seems like something One Piece would do. As much as I love it, that's not its. It's not as it doesn't escape that. But I didn't think we were going to meet Vegapunk for a long time yet. Then again, we are coming to the end of the story, so I guess we kind of had to. But I guess in my head, it was just one of those things that would be even further down the line. I don't know. I'm down with this. It's almost impossible to fucking predict where it's going to go next time. Like, I guess we'll get... I don't even know. Might get more on Kobe. Might do something completely different. We can find out the rest of this island they're on and Vegapunk and all that. I'm down. I'm just down for Vegapunk and Kobe. And Bonnie. I want more from Bonnie. So yeah, this wasn't too long this time. Because obviously it was a bit shorter anyway. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on this week's chapters? I need to come up with an actual outro, but I don't have enough fucking time to come up with one. So I'm just rambling because that's going to be my outro, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to get going and try and do something else before the end of the week. Okay. Catch y'all later. Bye.